Why, hello, folks, and welcome to the mechpit chat for Monday, October 6th. Boy, well, let's start right there already. Guys, holy shit, it is October. Like, I was not expecting the year to have gone by as fast as it has, but sure enough, here we are. Folks, how are we doing out there? Welcome to the mechpit chat for Monday, as I've said. We are doing pretty good. Getting back into the feel of the week here. You know, ain't that the truth? In a lot of ways, it still feels like it's summer, but no, we're kind of getting into that. We're actually getting into that the fall season proper, believe it or not. Uh, of course, out here in the Midwest, it's like we sort of have these phantom seasons where you stop and think, hey, you might get a little bit of variety or something, but no, you either get completely freezing over, everything's too cold, flannel and sweatshirts are mandatory, sometimes at the same time, and other times it's just like hot as heck, hot, 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 hot. But all of that said, let's see what we got going on out here. We of course have Vince out there in the chat. Thank you, sir, for dropping all those links. I do appreciate you, sir. You are locked and loaded, and I appreciate it. Dave C is in the chat saying, "Hail everyone, hello, sir." DJ Ronnie G is in the chat. But you know, it has. Like I said, it's been a week, and it's really weird to say that because the last couple streams I've come on, I've something big has been going on where I've had to stop and kind of talk about it. Like, hey, last week there was of course the big shooting that happened, which was its own thing, and I'm still not quite sure what's been going on with that as of late. With this past week, a lot of it's kind of fallen off the news, as awful as to say, but I'm sure I'll probably hear something about it in the area. Wait. Remember, kids, the holidays come up. Do not leave your turkeys or ham unattended on the porch. No, seriously, do not do this. Now, see, out here, so little story out here in Midwest, the holidays and that is ripe time to just leave food outside as the natural freezer. Make sure you put it in a car, otherwise raccoons are going to come in and steal your turkey on Thanksgiving. It's kind of one of those lessons you learn one time. You'll need to learn it once. But speaking of snacks, speaking of food, this man has perfect timing, and he's hopping in the back here. So let's give him a little love and affection here, shall we?
Oh, you gods! My roast is ruined!
What if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own cooking?
Hey, Snacks.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. The weekend was a little crazy. I had a bunch of stuff all canceled on me. Friday, of course, there was no Cotton Council Friday, but that was like the last thing on my list of everything that canceled.
Well, yeah, the council's on Saturday normally, and Snowdub was out and about, and he visited Loki and all that stuff. And I was just really tired, so I didn't have the fill-in show. So I was just because I started a new job. So
Friday I was supposed to go see family, and it was like, hey, we're gonna go hang out, watch movies. They canceled me.
Oh no!
Saturday.
Oh no!
Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna go play D&D with some friends. They cancel on me.
Oh no!
Hey, that's fine. It gives me time to chill out at the house, play some video. All right, what's coming up next? I know, T-shirt with the Weekend Geek cancels.
Oh,
I'm sensing a pattern.
Oh no!
All right, cool. That's fine, guys. Like, nothing has been lost yet. I'm gonna go hang out with
That's true,
and talk comics.
especially with yeah.
Cancels.
Oh my god. Ironcaster, I hate to break it to you, just nobody likes you. Shit,
No.
man. This is there's a pattern, and the only constant variable is you. Oh no,
They just don't like me, but
just don't like you. Dang it.
you made the
I
mistake
know.
of coming here.
I didn't even want to come on this show, but I was under contract. It's
That's
true.
right.
It's true. It's true. I had to sign it in blood. It's dark. It's dark, evil magic style. Don't worry about it, folks. I'm fine. Just oh, okay. A small curse. A small curse, but it's okay. All right.
Yeah,
But
I may or may not have put on you.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's me and Charlie B. I feel bad for Charlie B. He's got him under the same contract.
He would have canceled too, but I don't let him leave the house. Like, he can't reach the door. He's got no hands.
It's true. It's true. That's why. That's why you haven't made him hands, you bastard.
I don't know. He doesn't get hands because he would just leave me.
That or you touch himself all day.
Well, who
Because
else?
he's,
Is gonna go,
'cause
who
he's
else
fuzzy and
fills his puppet
furry.
hole like I do?
What's that?
Well, who else is going to fill his puppet hole like I do?
That's true.
So,
Same thing about Gator.
all right. So to get in, so I had there's a couple things that kind of came up this week, and some stuff that I thought would be a little bit of fun to talk about. Of course, of course, when it comes to robots and that, of course, we love to talk about our Gundam, but sort of in that same sphere is stuff like Warhammer. And
Yep.
and the thing is, it's like it's one of those things where you could see wanting to get into it, but the biggest hurdle is always the price, because dear God, like $150 for a single figure. It's like, okay, you're getting a little hard to justify this, and I gotta paint it, and I gotta go through and put in all this extra work and effort on top of it, which is
Yeah, that's the main thing I didn't get into Warhammer 40K is the minis. It was like a very little plastic for a lot of money, and it wasn't even finished. Like, it was like you have to paint it. Now, painting obviously that's great, but that's another buffer into the payments. It's like I have to utilize paints that are sometimes they're cheap, but most of the times they're premium paints that you're using. And yeah,
well. What if I were to tell you that over the weekend a little bit of a leak happened, and we wound up a bunch of STL files for Warhammer miniatures wound up leaking all over the internet?
yep. I mean, they have no one to blame but themselves. I mean, granted, I do understand people are allowed to price their IPs at whatever price point they choose. It's just sometimes there's what you price, and then there's the true worth of the item. And if you get too greedy, people start to you know find different ways.
Yeah, and the thing is here, the thing is, this is just one of those realities of technology is forcing the hands of a lot of companies, and there is a lot of pivoting in this area.
Yep.
Warhammer and Games Workshop have held out and have pushed back on this for so long, and yet there's little places where they are starting to reluctantly make some concessions. Like, I believe that with Warhammer now, you're allowed to use 3D printed parts to have some accessory pieces,
Mm.
but fundamentally it has to be the real models. Well, with 3D printing now, and especially with some of like the I think 8K printers that are out there, which are pretty affordable. Like I bought a like 8 or 9K printer for
Yeah.
about $300.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like you can't really test to see a fake is because not only do you paint because they don't come pre-painted, so you paint it, so that's gonna hide a lot of printer marks because you're gonna clean out the printer marks anyways. And the little model, the little minis that you get from Games Workshop itself, they have mold lines all over the place. You have to clean those up. So it seems like even if you go fully legit, it doesn't look like, fully legit,
Mhm.
and
Real
it's
quick,
it's gonna be it's gonna be so hard to tell what's 3D painted now, and what's not 3D painted printed.
Well, the thing is, right, with a lot of these especially the resin printers, you get insanely fine detail lines that you will then also slap layers of paint on top of, to where it gets more difficult to see those individual like layers without having the figure like this close to your face to look for those fine lines. Even and then on top of that, you're throwing paint on top of it.
And then
Yeah, and
if you sand it
you can
down, if you do the like all the joint stuff, and you really try to fuse it together and really go the extra mile, like you said,
you
once
can scribe it too. It's scribing is a thing, sanding and scribing. Yeah.
so I mean, like if you use the joint cement and all that stuff, and you get rid of all the seam lines, like some people do anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, they do that on the kits that they buy. So
Yeah. So
But the thing is, like, within the 2 hours or so that these files were up and available on a one of the file sharing sites, almost 200,000 downloads were brought in for minis and models all across their lines. And this is for like the full-on official models. This isn't going for some proxies. Like my little pestilence queen model that I was showing off the last couple weeks is effectively a proxy of a Warhammer figure. I paid $15 for it. Actually, no, I bought it half off, so $7.50 for the file plus an extra $5 in resin.
yeah. And then you can print as much as you want, and you can have a whole army of those things for like pennies on the dollar.
and once you have the file, you can reproduce it as many times as you want.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's called what is it? The same thing with IP, intellectual property, the schematics, the engineering layout, all whatever you want to call.
Yeah, it's like how much does a platoon of Space Marines cost? Like a platoon is roughly like
So a squad
100. It's like 100 or two. You know what I mean? But
so a squad of just like 10 Primaris Marines is like $55-$60 for 10 minis. And that's without jetpacks or anything fancy tools. It's just like a basic squad of them is $60.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. You it's like getting a whole company of Space Marines at like $1,000. Holy shit.
it is unironically a lot of armies might be somewhere in the ballpark of about $800 for just Games Workshop plastic.
Damn.
Yeah. Like
what kind of plastic do they use?
I mean, it must be some really high quality like British crack material.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, okay, that's a fair answer. But I mean, like, is it ABS? Is it higher quality, really higher quality plastic?
I mean, it's fundamentally probably the similar material to what we would get with gunpla kits.
Right, which there's several different plastics Bandai uses depending on if it's Bandai and all that.
There's the ABS, there's the polycap, there's styrene. Yeah, there's very different styles, but I still gotta build and paint my my Tall Geese mini.
Oh yeah,
I have the Tall Geese mini I need to paint.
Now, are you gonna go? What you should do is, well, yes, the idea of painting it like the show is fun, but I like the idea of painting it sort of like the Gundam G3. Go with that like space gray.
Yeah, there'll be definitely some gray shading in there. Definitely. It's gonna be the white and gold, obviously, but I don't know. Maybe one of the Leos I can I can do some craziness with it.
Dave, that is for unpainted gray plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have so much for here. Like, look, I bought a little Stormcaster guy. I mean, actually, the molding on these is actually really good quality, especially when it comes to like war game stuff.
Nice.
But so the other thing they went and showed off, and just to kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at, like, so they went and showed off their Christmas boxes with Warhammer today. And here's the big Christmas box set for one of the factions, the Tau, which is very big robot centric.
Very nice.
Which we're probably looking at about $250 for this box set.
And that's before painting.
Exactly.
Because those are all painted and finished up and looking really good.
Mm-hmm. Or, you could save yourself a bit of money and check out some of the many other popular war games that are going on. Games like, I'm a big fan of one-page rules, for example, myself. And then one that was really catching my interest this last week or so that I was taking a look at is a little game called Conflict 47.
Conflict 47.
Now, Conflict 47 is an alternate take on World War II.
Oh.
That basically takes World War II and adds in all kinds of crazy stuff into it.
When was it made?
There was an earlier edition. I've seen stuff going back probably 10 years or so, at least. But they are putting out a new edition of the game. And just to show off a little bit of the stuff here, like that you have about 4 different primary factions: the U.S., the British, the Russians. Or sorry, not the Russians. I mean, they're kind of there. The Axis powers, and Russia to an extent, and each one has its own take on stuff. So, for example, America was like basically went all big on like jetpacks and giant stompy mech bots. The British, for example, were also getting really big into robotics, so they have a bunch of like kind of disposable tin soldier men, and it had just a good aesthetic to it that's really appealing to me in the right way. And, unlike Warhammer, we're not looking at necessarily the, 40, 50 plus models just to have a, competitive army. Like, yeah, the starter army here is about $200, is about $170. And then maybe you drop an extra $50, $100 into it, and then you have your army done. But it's one of those things where it's just like the art and all the stuff just looks really cool to me.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me pull this up just because I love the look of these guys. And I say this having been sick to death of the sort of World War II as a topic. I there's something I really like with the aesthetic of these guys coming together, taking a lot of the elements of that, and then
It's
adding
not
that
World War
sci-fi.
II. It's diesel punk. This is that genre. You know how steampunk is like the like
Yeah.
1880s to like 1900. Oh, this is like diesel
40s.
punk is like your 1920s till like late 1940s, and then after you get into that, you're more into what do you call it, like nuke punk, like the
what the Fantastic Four was put in recently, or
yeah,
Fallout.
Well,
yeah,
sure,
Fallout, Fantastic Four, yeah.
But in this particular case, World War II is still going on. This is World War II, but a sudden Russian.
Well, those are the years of World War II, yeah.
So one of the other, of course, we can't have allies and have miniatures for them. As cool as they are, you got to have some like weird like.
I
German
do like
science.
that one on the screen. The cockpit looks very much like a Bell Cobra. The canopy is very much like a Cobra. The helicopter.
It also looks like some of the Joy Toy I've seen too.
Oh yeah. It's exactly like a cobra, except for you just give it big bulky arms. That's pretty cool.
Which, so the U.S. has its own aesthetic to it, which is kind of like, hey, Flyboys, we have these kind of, there's a sort of U.S. Ingenuity to a lot of the stuff they have here with it. But then you go look at like what's going on in old Germany. Why they've
Spider
apparently
tank.
decided spider tanks, and it's very like cold steel industrial, and they also decided to get big into genetic modifications.
So they have zombie warriors.
They have zombies, they have werewolves, they have vampires.
Dang.
There's a lot of jokes I want to say, but I will not because we will get cancelled.
Hey, wait, I've seen this movie before.
We will get cancelled if I say all the jokes that are running through my head.
Well, it's all about eugenics.
Yes. It's about hue and genes. Nix.
But like I said, I've just been kind of looking at this over the last couple of days, and it really caught my attention. I'm like, this wasn't a game I was necessarily looking to pick up before, but I've started really seeing a lot of attention on this. I think because like this game's been dropping out this week. Here we go. So here's the British stuff. And again, there's just a totally different aesthetic to the designs they have.
Yeah, it looks like they saw some like 60s and like 80s platform mechs. When I say like mechs, I mean like armored cars and tanks and stuff like that. And they try to like make it like walking mech kind of stuff. It's interesting.
Listless. This is for a tabletop war game called Conflict 47. Like the lore behind the game is like during the testing of the atomic weapons, in the US they open like a rift into some other dimension, and FDR goes and sees it, and like he has some experience, and he comes back completely revitalized, rejuvenated, and the Americans like basically saw God, and they go on about like a World War II-esque crusade to defeat the Axis powers.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah, no, it worked in just the right way for me, and so it kind of caught up on my radar. I'm like, I gotta look into this more. I love the look of this. Yeah, sure, I could sit here and print up some totally not Warhammer 40K stuff, but maybe I should just go ahead and check out some simple stuff along the way. Oh yeah, what's this? Dave, yes. Dave sent me a couple of minis. And just to show that off, yes, these are the Space Wolves, buddy. Which is all Space Viking aesthetics.
And that's the same game too, the 47?
I'm sorry, no, this is actually
It's Warhammer. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's why I was at first confused, and then I realized, no, that's definitely a Warhammer guy.
Apologies, I know I'm jumping all over the place a little bit, but I wanted to acknowledge the DM that came in.
Nice.
So, me nerding out over tabletop minis aside,
Right.
there was one other little subject that came up this week, and what I feel like is going to be the real meat of topics. If there's any one anime that I have been tagged about incessantly this year alone, it has been Tojiro wants to be a Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider, yeah.
I only tagged you twice, and not openly, just in chats.
You did. The common nerd tagged me in it. I think a couple other people tagged me.
Maybe he should. Sorry, maybe he should change the spelling of his name to the Common Nerd.
Ooh. I gotta tease him with that.
All right.
A Comet Nerd, nice.
So
I think although
The
Toji
common
might
nerd
be
is
the
it's got
common
some
nerd.
guy with like big buggy glasses being actually.
I don't know. If you haven't seen the episode, I think Kojima might be the common nerd.
Yeah, it's true.
so just to let me pull up some visual image for this. But this is a story I felt like I was really like associated with because it's like, well, one, Kamen Rider, obviously, but
Yeah.
this is a guy who's 40 years old who grew up, was a big fan of this franchise, but then he grew up and tried to go past it and go on with his life, not wanting to be found like dead in his apartment, surrounded by all this nerd stuff, and then just have strangers throw it all away.
Yeah.
So he tries to move on with his life.
He does.
And then, as fate would have it, people start going out dressing as villains from the show to commit crimes. And then, as luck would have it, he winds up at the scene of one of these accidents, incidents with the robberies, and he steps forth to finally be the hero, to live his dream.
And not only with that, but conveniently, there's a guy who's right next to the stuff that the crime that's happening, and is also selling masks. And one of those masks happened to be a Kamen Rider mask.
Oh, guys, it's my bedtime now. Sorry, I only meant to pop in just a quick bit because I was like, oh, I don't want to miss too many weeks in a row. But yes, that's been everyone's been like, oh my god, it's like Kamen Rider and all that. Yeah, it's good stuff.
It is Kamen Rider.
I'm gonna punch out, guys. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next time.
Hopefully, I appreciate it.
Hopefully, I adapt it to my new schedule. I do have to wake up at 3 though.
Okay.
So
thanks for stopping on by, buddy.
Yep. All right, guys. You two are awesome. Keep it awesome. Keep it mecha. And I'm gonna punch out.
All right.
Eject.
Where's my eject button?
Get the flamer. The heavy flamer.
Well, there you go. That's next.
So, Snacks, I'm sorry. Long day. Punkwaddle, I take it you've seen this yourself.
Yeah, I watched it this afternoon or this evening or a few hours. Yeah, a few hours ago. Because I think we talked about it, but I didn't realize it was premiering. And you know when you do, when you're kind of just in that state of like, all right, we're in a new season, and I've kind of caught most of the ones I want to catch. What else is there? Oh yeah, the Kamen Rider's out. Okay, you know what? I have to watch this because, you've been trying to get me to watch Kamen Rider episodes forever, and this is an anime version that's not a real Kamen Rider episode. But I mean, I feel like it's a start. And if I can connect with you and the anime version of you, and also the new Kamen Rider series that's on YouTube that's free and available, like, help me with get all excited about it. Yeah.
Zzzz.
Are you Zets fully clean?
No, but it's nice and zesty.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, look, give us some initial thoughts for yourself. What did you think about the show going in? Like, what were your expectations, and what did you think after having seen it?
Well, first off, I think we talked about it sometimes, and I think we probably looked at a preview like sometime in the last year, but I kind of forgot about it. And so I was like, okay, the guy, he's 40 years old and he likes Kamen Rider. All right, you know what? I'm just going to watch it because this looks fun. And then, I don't know. There's something about just, you don't want to say validation because that's not it. You don't want to say self-insert because I wasn't trying to be Kamen Rider as a kid. But the whole thing of, like, when it kind of just goes back and shows the first half of the episode, just kind of his childhood, his upbringing, how much he just, as a kid, that moment when his mom's like, I left food in the fridge, you're going to be okay. And he's just like, Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider. And she's like, oh, he's happy. He's a kid who loves this show. And then he grows up and he like never loses that. And even at school when, they're mean to him, he's just like, whatever. He's like, I don't care. And then he gets himself pummeled and all. It's just like they have all the elements of like the school brawl and all the things that sometimes are the whole anime, but that's just like helping him get to where he is. Like all these tropes that are just because they're so common. Damn it. Like
let's not gloss over the fact that this dude is able to fight bears.
Yeah, he's like, at some point, I'd be able to,
And even the bears look at him like, dude, what are you doing? How are you kicking my ass?
Are you not a human? Like, he seriously is OP, but he's so nerdy and he just trained and he's like, I'm socially awkward. I have a moral code. I'm just gonna go punch trees. like, I don't know how to deal with people. Screw this. I'm going home.
What does it look like you're doing? What does it look like I'm doing? I'm kicking my own ass. No, but it was a lot of fun seeing him be this nerdy kid who was like super into stuff, even kind of getting made fun of in general at school for it. He's true to this passion for it, and he never gave up on it until he's like, oh my god, I'm 40. Like until that midlife crisis.
Yeah,
and it drove him to be this as great as he is, and now we're seeing that passion pay off. Yeah, sure. We didn't grow up. You and I didn't grow up with Kamen Rider. I didn't start watching it until the great pandemic myself.
And I didn't start watching Gundam until 17, 18, right? Actually, I didn't watch Gundam until more like 18 because I had seen the kits and all the stuff, but it wasn't until 2018 when I actually had downtime and started building them and then started like, what are these robots from? These are cool shows. I'm going to watch these shows while I build my robots, right?
Right. Yeah. And, I've always had something like this I've been into. Like, for a long time there, especially in the late 2000s, like Star Wars, the prequels just weren't cool there for a while.
Yeah.
But yet, still loved it.
I got, granted it was the Sam's version. It wasn't like super, but I do have a Darth Maul lightsaber, one of the ones you can go beat the crap out of each other in the backyard, right?
But it's a series that's kind of grown up and fits that niche that I didn't realize I needed. There's always this sort of joke going around where people always have this idea of like, well, you don't need to see yourself in a show to enjoy it, but this is one that is strangely enough is fitting that niche in a way that I didn't know was kind of like really has an audience it wants to speak to. Mm-hmm. And being in that audience, there is something to appreciate for that.
And for one, I will say, agreed. I didn't grow up with Kamen Rider, and I do enjoy it. And it works because Kamen Rider, like you said, is such a big thing, and the fact that Kamen Rider is getting a little bit more global presence. It's not just Japanese relatable, but it's relatable to a lot of us. Like I said, I didn't grow up with Kamen Rider, but I grew up with a fandom. I grew up with something that I wanted to go. It's like the moment where he's walking around by the river and he sees the kids like, oh, I win. I'm Kamen Rider today, and you're all the bad guys, and I'm going to beat you up. And he's like, you don't draw straws to be Kamen Rider. You train to be Kamen Rider. He's like, screw your own make-believe. My make-believe is better. But all the stuff you do as kids and you play because you this is the hero, right? These are the things that, another reason, I'm not going to get into the whole rant or TED talk, but the whole reason why anime K-dramas and all this stuff is just winning over in the West is because it's all the stuff that we kind of helped inspire them, but they've stuck with those core values of shows, of ideas, and the cheesiness, campiness of the tried and true stories. When over in the West, we've kind of tried to crap all over and deconstruct things in a way that it just nobody cares and doesn't make sense and it doesn't sell, right? So it's again just it's nostalgia bait in the best way.
It really is. Because at the end of the day,
Squeaka.
we can all relate to that. Oh my
Squeaka says
gosh.
I feel like, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I feel like maybe she's watched the show too.
No, she's gonna be showing up in the next episode as like the Ladybug hero.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was referring to. Only a mask. Sorry to spoil that, but yeah. I there wasn't a moment in that episode that I was not engaged, that I was not just like enjoying the story of the characters, enjoying the ride. Like even the art style with the kind of thicker outlines, it kind of reminded me of Archer. There's just something about the stylization. Again, if it was too realistic, all the punching might be weird, but it just works.
It really does. I mean, there's a bit of a wind up, a build up for it, but
literally in this moment is a wind up.
But it's about soaking in the moment. It's that aura channeling moment where you want to see this guy build up and wind that punch up before he lets him have it. I mean, you just watch these thugs go and beat up a guy who's like selling octopus dumplings, and it's like, well, no, that guy's cool. Why are you beating him up? No, I want to see you guys get beat up now.
Well, it's also like, not to spoil a thing, but it's also his tradition, his thing. Like he's just enjoying something that he's enjoyed since he was a child. Like, I mean, to break it apart, like he just said, like a day before or 2 days before, he was like, all right, I'm giving up this Kamen Rider stuff because I don't want to be the guy who dies alone with his toys. And then it's like, I love festivals. I've loved it since I was a kid. This is just a thing that I can still do. And all of a sudden, the whole of something that is still such a tradition, so ingrained in something he enjoys, and then these guys who are the Kamen Rider bad guys come and shit all over it, and then like the moment of him like, no, it's all connected, it's all together. I could do the things, I could be the person I always was, and it's just like, oh my god.
And yeah, there's something to be laughed at, you could say, for the way he wears the mask, he puts the mask on, and he sort of transforms this moment to finally live out this lifelong dream of his and be the hero. This isn't pretend. This is a chance to actually stand up and save someone against a bunch of thugs. This is the moment he's dreamt of for 40 years.
He's been training for it for 40 years. Not just like those of us who are nerds who just like space out and want to be the hero and then go back to eating our cheeseburger, right? Icon has a cheeseburger, but he's the one who's been beating the crap out of bears, and then he's like, oh no.
Like, this dude's been punching like holes into trees, training for decades. Like, if that's not the sort of body modification of like a shocker program, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, like he's the closest we got to a super soldier. Like, what's that point? He's like, just make me a cyborg. Yeah, I don't know where to start, Squeaka. I wish I could tell you. Maybe at the first episode.
Yep. Fortunately, there is but one episode of this out, so it's really easy to catch up on. And
yeah,
I actually think this would be an interesting one for you to watch. As it stands, yes, we've only got a single episode of this series out, but I can say for the time being, I am fully recommending Tojima. Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider.
The first episode, the energy, literal and figurative and metaphorical impact that it has. If I would be remiss to assume to think that they would lose the momentum. Like this could be like a Gurren Lagann type, like everything just gets better and escalates and is intense. There could be some middle ground story. There could be complications. It could be more complex, but like I'm sold. I'm along for the ride. Like it's gonna have to tank really hard or like really subvert my expectations for me not to continue want to see where this goes.
Well, I mean, fortunately, the manga has a few volumes out, so we'll be able to, have something to compare that with.
True.
You can go see the source material for yourself, but I've never really heard much in the way of like any problems with the manga. Not that I've really gone to look out of my way for it, but it's something that's been around.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, suffice to say, recommend it.
Yeah. No spiders that I'm aware of, Squeaker.
Let's see. So, yep. Oh yeah. So just to get back to this real quick, Vince asked if I've seen episode 5 of Zest yet. Punkwaddle, have you been keeping up with that Kamen Rider Zest?
I have not. I think I watched 2 or 3 of the episodes, and then I kind of fell off the wagon because like all the new animes and some other stuff was coming up, and I need to get back on that because it's not hard to get back on the wagon because like I said, they're still all posted on the page.
Well, not only that, they're now just straight up having the individual episodes are on YouTube as like its own video, so you can go watch the episodes you might have missed.
Because first they were doing individuals, then they streamed a couple at a time. Now it's just like, just watch the episode.
Mm-hmm. And personally, I'm super happy with this. I mean, as it stands, like I'm getting all my like superhero needs over here going on with with just straight on YouTube for the most part. Yeah. Friday nights, Ultraman has new episodes coming out, so I can go watch that as I'm like settling in after I've hung out with Loki and you guys. Mm-hmm. I can then, I can wake up in the morning and there's an episode of Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider on Crunchyroll. I can go watch that. Mm-hmm. And then, after we've done all the streams, hung out with the Cotton Council, hung out with you again, I can go settle in for the night and watch a little bit more Kamen Rider.
Sounds like you're living the best life.
I really feel like I am. It's a lot of just... dude, I am eating so good right now for entertainment because I'm not watching bad shit. I'm not out watching whatever Disney has out. I have no idea what the last Disney Plus show was.
I'm gonna be honest with you for two things. Like there was the whole, well, not to get into it, but the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Obviously, that was heavy. A lot of things went on. A lot of people were reacting. A lot of people were emotional. A lot of people were spiraling. Like there were reasons I really didn't want to be following every moment of the news, right? So I just kind of stepped back. And it's not because I don't think there are positive things, and maybe I'll try to get back to the penguin positivity, which I haven't done. It was just kind of correlationary, not a depression or anything, but it was just like I want to do less in the social medias, and I want to play more video games, and I want to watch more anime, and like I said, I want to do the things that are fun and share it with the people that are fun that I enjoy talking to, like having real conversations with friends in real life and online. And like I'm tired of when you feel like you're on streams and you're just watching all the news and you're just being like, I've heard that's like watching ESPN all day long if you like sports, which I don't enough to watch ESPN all day, but you hear the same thing over and over and over again, and you're like, oh gosh, and then you're so drained by it, and then whether it's a friend, a significant other, a neighbor, and they have no idea because their world and sphere has nothing to do with that, and like you look like a crazy person talking about Disney, and they're just like, oh, did you hear about the accident in town? What? There's a town? Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you're totally right. We need to be able to, two things. It's important to kind of be aware of what's going on out there.
Yes.
and not stick your head in the sand all the time. But at the same time, it's it's like the saying about the abyss. If you gaze at it too long, it gazes back. It will consume you if you're not careful. So you have to be able to look away from it sometimes.
but,
It's important to have that balance.
and how can I do funny things or social commentary as a puppet if I'm not at least paying attention to what's going on, right? Enough to
Mhm.
have intelligent jokes about it.
So, what for example, I have no idea what all like terrible mainstream movies are coming out this week or month.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be something coming up.
I mean, I thought Hollywood was just mad about the AI chick.
Oh yeah, dude, I totally forgot about that story.
I've just seen thumbnails about it. I haven't even watched the videos. I just got the news what I need from the thumbnails.
Yeah, it ultimately kind of gets to a point where you're like, yeah, I kind of get the gist of this. Okay, so this is where Hollywood's going to go. They're going to create their own movie stars, and the
Yeah.
Hollywood celebrity is going to be in trouble. But the thing is, ultimately, if they can't give me some dumb fun movies,
Yep.
I'm not going to be there. Which is why, to pivot just a little bit here, there is one particular movie coming out this weekend, actually, that I am looking forward to. So I will be getting off my happy behind and going to a movie theater.
Wait, you just said you didn't know what was coming out in movie theaters, and 2 minutes later you're like, and then there's this really cool movie that's coming out this weekend.
Well, let me make this
Caught
clear.
in 4K.
No, I don't know what the big studios have going on. It's like there's only a couple of specific things going on. Like, hey, it's all I know is there's a movie coming out this weekend that Shout Factory is handling some of the distribution for. Okay, that's on my radar.
Never mind. I take back everything I said. I've been caught in 4K for not listening. Damn it.
Allow me to elaborate.
Please.
Because there is, if this load, a new Deathstalker coming.
Nice.
In case you're not aware, Deathstalker was one of the 80s Conan exploitation movies, and we are finally getting, one of these coming back. And most importantly, it's not a movie with Pedro Pascal in it.
That's nice.
No, you got rid of it. I mean, yeah, sure. The one downside is like, yeah, Patton Oswalt's in it, which he's one of those actors I've kind of gotten sick of. But
yeah,
at least in this, he's only doing voice work, so yeah, we can kind of look past it.
Also, the biggest thing, and here's this might be a hot take, that there should still be some bit of differentiation between the actor and the acting, unless they have such a heinous position that you're just like, nah, you're not good for humanity. But if it's like you're obnoxious, I don't like your political views, but you're a really good actor, and the roles you take, you do well, and it creates for good entertainment, and I don't feel like you're just trying to preach at me. Like, I still think that the entertainment factor can exist, right? Like the whole thing of, musicians shut up and sing, or before they quote had a platform and they had all these opinions and they just talked at their Hollywood parties, but we didn't know what the celebrities thought and we were happy about it.
Well, I think in part of that as well is they have to go away for a time. Like, yeah. I'm not saying they have to go onto a log cabin on an island in the middle of nowhere for like 6 months and not be seen at all. It's just like, yeah, just kind of fade into the background. Yeah, you said some things I thought were dumb, but I'm not hearing about you constantly. So,
right,
like that annoyance goes away.
Yeah,
it's like the mosquito. Like, yeah, I don't like mosquitoes, but at least they're not always around me.
Yeah, but also if the mosquito is sucking somebody else's blood in a comical way and you can't help but laugh, right?
The mosquito goes flying by.
Yeah, you're like,
it's like right at the tip of their nose, and they go to smack themselves.
Yeah, that mosquito has good comedic timing. I respect that, Nice.
But it's one of those things where you gotta kind of keep that good healthy balance. So Punkwaddle, let me ask you, has there been anything else anime wise you've started watching this season that you think is good?
Yes.
Do tell.
Let's see. I think, and I mentioned this in the Anime 101 chat, but I think one of the other ones that have really jumped out at me, and a few people had mentioned it. So, but it's the can I? Let me try to get the word like. It's like, can I ask for one?
May I ask for one final thing?
Yeah. May I ask for one final thing? That is, and the preview. I'm not spoiling too much. She's a brawler. So in the preview, well, in the first, before you get to the title card, you find out, and it's in the preview, but you find out that her nuisance, and that's what that scene is. Yeah, her nuisance of a arranged marriage fiance prince. He's an idiot. He has decided that he was going to annul that, call that off. And she said, can I ask for one more final thing? And he's like, no. And then his new fiance is like, we'll just, let her have her one thing. She's like, okay. And she puts on these gloves with these little studs in the knuckles, and proceeds to beat the tar out of everybody. Well, okay, to the title card, she just like goes swinging at the new fiance. Turns out she's good at magic, a few other things, but she has a temper. And her thing is like, I only punch people who are deserving, or, when something was wrong. And so, like, it's not just the fact that she wants to beat the snot out of people and she really, really enjoys it. It's the fact that there's like a lot of logical, a lot of like quippy dialogue. Like, she's not just some dumb, like, she's very, it's not like quite like Gilmore Girls quippy, but it's like, it's very, the voiceovers, the snark, the sass, just the attitude. And then some of the other characters that play along with her, like, they're very fun characters to watch interact, because she doesn't like a lot of people, but people are kind of bemused by her personality, and they don't hide it. So the first 2 episodes were really fun. Yeah, I know it's nothing new, a female with a temper, but the fact that she also seems kind and reasonable to people who aren't being assholes. Like, she's willing to differentiate, it seems, so far. I know. And there's nothing new under the sun, Vince. But sometimes the way a story is told just gets you in the right spot. You're like, okay, this is entertaining.
Because I'm looking over the list of stuff coming out. Mm-hmm. And so far this season, there's been at least one other series that I did want to check out, and once we get out of here, I'm going to go and probably sit down and catch it. Mm-hmm. So it's a time to start testing the waters out, check a couple shows out. And then maybe if I decide I'm going to drop something, I'll go pick up some of those older shows I started, and then I'll just kind of get those finished up and get those off the plate. Because yes, the list is always growing. And if I'm not careful, there's going to be about 1 million shows I've started, but never finished.
Right. Yeah. I have so many.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, how bad is my list?
I don't know, because I've been having conversations with people about this season, last season, new stuff. Oh, did you see this? I started it. Like, there was a day when I started like 3 anime, and I watched 2 or 3 episodes, and then I forgot to ever watch them again. And there's been multiple days like that.
Okay, so homework for this week then.
Oh, damn it.
Okay. It's multiple choice. So I will give you options.
Okay, all right.
First,
Mm-hmm.
catch up on Kamen Rider X.
Right. I feel like that's high priority.
And mind you, this is a show that's going to go like probably 50 episodes, so there's plenty.
And keeping up now is better than waiting. Okay.
Absolutely, because then you'll be able to say, well, I was already 20 episodes in or whatever, so it's like, they're on episode 30. Yeah, I'll catch up on like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Or you find one of those animes that's on your list you started,
Mm-hmm.
and you go check it off. Finish it.
All right. Maybe I'll try a little bit of both.
There you go. As for myself, I've got one last episode of Penny and Stocking with Garter Belt to go finish up, and then I'll be able to check that off the list for myself.
Oh, go ahead.
I apparently started binging this past season, Fist of the North Star at T-shirt's behest.
Okay.
So now I have only another 95, 100, 90. Not 90. 60 episodes.
Let me double check, because there's one that I have been watching at somebody's. Oh, another one I've been watching, which I think it was this summer. It was Tugen Anki. Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
So it's about an Oni, and the Onis use all their blood. And the Oni and Momotaro have been against each other, but this guy, the guy who's been protecting him was a Momotaro who quit, and then he gets recruited by the Oni squad, and like he's learning how to use his blood in Berserk, and he's going to like Oni school. And I'm about halfway. I'm at the 5th episode, and almost halfway through, and it's pretty fun. Yeah. So far, it's fun. Their instructor reminds me a lot of the guy from Kaiju number 8 with the 2 swords that right at the end of season, because I need to watch season 2. Yeah, but the little bowl cut, like the short, like badass dude. So their instructor reminds me so much of him in style and attitude, and like calm, collected, like I'll chop you up if I need to, sort of thing. He's a little more emo, maybe. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I remember what that show was. So it was one of those ones I kept meaning to get to, but then it sort of fell off the list.
Mhm.
Because other little things popped up. So one last thing here to kind of touch up on our way out.
Okay.
You remember last week how after I pulled my hair out over DSP?
It was unfortunate that we had to go through that, but yeah.
Oh, I feel like I got some justice this week because good old Kino Casino came back, and they decided to do a full-on like hour-long movie just taking the piss out of him.
Didn't It's a Gundam do that a couple of years ago?
Yes, but they went on. They full on like did a full on like sketch movie of it.
Oh,
so they called it the Dented Zone. It was an hour long. Andy is a pretty dead ringer for ESP.
Okay,
what's happening? I'm going to be eating the new taco Lunchables on Friday like you all asked. I didn't choose this. You all asked me to try.
It's uncanny.
So they've been studying his mannerisms for the last year to do this properly. It's like Daniel Day-Lewis of the internet.
Like, oh my, you have no idea. Like, at one point, they managed to convince DSP that they were on his side. And so he started like dropping his guard, letting them in. He started going on their show, and then they pulled the rug out from under him in this masterful stroke just to laugh at him.
Mm-hmm.
And by speaking of, it's a Gundam. There he is.
Yeah.
But the Dented Zone is a masterpiece of a film. It's basically DSP makes a deal with the devil to get revenge on his enemies. In a very Twilight Zone-esque film. It
Okay.
is
Well,
so
I got
worth your
the
time to watch.
reference.
It's a laugh.
Okay.
But yeah, check that out. That was worth a laugh. Yeah.
Okay.
And then finally, I think a little moment of Zen to calm the night out on. How about something a little lighthearted?
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
So, Punkwaddle, where can we feed you?
Sorry, where can you feed me?
Yeah, we're gonna have people show up, and we're gonna feed you salami and cheese.
I'll have to give some GPS to the local park. Yeah.
But until then, we can expect more penguin positivity. You know, something a little, maybe not quite as lighthearted as feeding people salami and meat.
I mean, I want to say things, but it's only going to be a soundbite that's not going to be good. So I'm going to refrain. But, you know, a lot of people like hard salami, and that's okay.
I mean, look, I'm just saying, you're out here you're working, and someone's offering you a little free snack. I mean, you're not gonna take a snack?
Oh, I'm gonna take a snack, little salty snack, little pick me up. I mean, it's not quite a charcuterie, maybe a Cracker Barrel, but I never called it a Cracker Barrel growing up, but people would call it like a Cracker Barrel when you have chips and crackers and meats. But charcuterie is like the fancy word for it. When a bunch of hipsters and get their little charcuterie board.
It's worse. It's French.
I know, but the hipsters confiscated it, assimilated it.
It's just like the party tray, the snack tray that we bring out for like when the whole family gets together to like watch like the Michigan game.
Yeah, or like football or the New Year's or you know, Christmas party. Somebody's got to bring the meat and cheese. Yeah, I'm not a real Santa. I smell like meat and cheese.
So you're from the Midwest.
Maybe it's Jersey Shore trying to be all hip again.
But as for myself, let's see. Tomorrow we're doing Talk Hard. We are going over Death Race 2000. So come on by. We're going to check out a little early Sylvester Stallone film in his career and have some fun along the way. So, folks, I think with that we're going to head on out. So be good to yourselves out there. Take care. Remember, the week is just getting started, so don't pace yourself too hard. And remember, you know, life is what you make it. So just remember to be silly. And I think with that, I bid you adieu.
It will help.